Hello and welcome back to Cold-Blooded Sports. If you are new here, my name is Stephen and this grumpy person right here is Pamela.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Afternoon.
Afternoon. What time do we start today? 12 o'clock?
17.
So it's 12:18 on the clock and we were meant to be here at 12 o'clock, but Pamela was busy today. She was doing some extra hours on another job at home and she was doing some DIY projects as well, so I had to wait and Pamela finishing up what she was doing. So it is Friday the 28th of March. It is, as we see, it is 12:18 and we're just about to open the store and get ourselves underway. I've already had a phone call from a friend who has a holder problem. The Bauer holder in question has got a grub screw in it and it basically has came loose and the blade has not been able to hold in the holder. So he's going to bring his skate in and I'm going to get that on camera what the fix is. You've probably seen this multiple times. It's one of the ones that seem to be a lot more prevalent with Bauer. Obviously CCM are slightly different. The differences in the CCM one is it's a rod that goes into the steel for CCMs, whereas in the Bauers it's a trigger and it's held in with a piece of plastic. So that piece of plastic and that trigger mechanism is held in place by one little grub screw, and that one little grub screw is basically the thing that screws up your skate when it comes loose to make it not hold the blade.
Oh, seriously?
It's good to see all that years of staff training's finally paid off. She knows how to work it anyway.
And why did I need to work the head?
I'm so happy.
The table!
I had to break the table apparently by accident, but I'll get to that in a little second. I've got a sharpening to finish. So I had a customer come in earlier on for a skate press and the skate press went a bit wrong. I broke my desk, so we now have a new piece of desk in place and this is now bolted back in place and so is our vise. Basically the situation was the customer had come in and had a problem with their skate and wanted it pressed out as much as possible at the heel and it was a bit of a pain. So obviously that happened and then it broke. So now I am in the process of doing some skate sharpenings. I have a lot of stuff still to catch up on. David brought his skates in with the rattle that has to be fixed. I now have a glove repair that has to be done and we have a customer who is having to be dealt with for custom skates. So we'll see if we can get some stuff sorted, organised and see what I can get done and out the road. Right, so I managed to clear away most of the jobs. All the sharpenings are more or less away. I've got one pair that's still, that's the re-eyelet. They have to be resharpened. They've been dropped and there's an edge missing thanks to Pam. But anyway, the rattle that happens in these skates here is there's a grub screw that holds this mechanism in place. I'm going to take the skate apart and I'm going to show you what the problem is and I'm going to fix the problem as well. So another time lapse taking the skate apart just for the simple reason we were still buzzing about doing other things. There was an order obviously just appeared. So Pamela and David was helping get the order sorted. So right, this is the situation here. This is the part of the skate here and this is the grub screw that is missing. So that little part just here is where the grub screw goes and it usually works its way loose. So because it's worked its way loose it won't hold the blade. So what my plan is to do is glue that back in place. Like obviously it's knurled, it screws into place, so that will screw back into place, but I will put some glue on it to hold it in place to stop it from moving again and then re-rivet the skate and send David on his way. Right, so there you go, that's the skate now back together. The grub screw is now fixed and the skate is now re-riveted so I can send David on his road. Right guys, so that's me back again. It's now 3:46 in the afternoon. It's been a bit of a write-off content wise. We had quite a lot of visitors in today, people coming in to say hello and people looking for obviously some custom work done. So we had a pair of gloves that came in. These are a custom pair of Warriors, they're a pair of Alphas, and what we had the problem with this one was this area here obviously had a massive hole in it and the underneath part of the palm had a hole in it as well. So what I have actually done is I've got the kangaroo leather out and I've re-sewn in a new patch. So instead of just sewing in a patch that's just in this area here, I've replaced that whole part because it was starting to show signs of wear everywhere else. It's a slightly different material, this one. It doesn't actually feel like actual proper palms. It feels like a synthetic one, like it's like a woven material. It doesn't feel as if it's like it's 100% not leather. It feels as if it's just a kind of I'm not sure, just a kind of woven material. You don't really want that in a set of gloves. You want a kind of relatively good kind of Nash palm, or like a chamois kind of palm like we've seen before in the Sherwood gloves. So that's that been done. David's skates were already done as well. They've been finished and they're away. I've got a pair of skates you might be able to see sitting on the machine just there. They have to be sharpened, and then the customer has to be contacted to let them know that their eyelets have been done. We got a Warrior order today with a couple of Blademaster parts. So I got spurs for the cross grind, which I'll show you that later on. If you wonder how we set the cross grind, it's like every disc that you use you have to set. So with regards to your finishing head, you've got your diamond dresser that you've got to use to be able to set the stone, and with the cross grind you've got a spur. So I'll take you over and just show you what the spur is. It's like a dresser tool. So you have this here, and this is meant to be a spurred area, which basically gets run across that area of the cross grind. But obviously it gets to the point where it gets worn down. You usually find it one will last you a year, maybe a wee bit longer. So that's me, obviously had to replace that. Gloves have been done, the desk has been fixed. Yes, the desk was broken. Like I said earlier on, the customer actually come back for the press. I had been leaning my whole body weight on the thing, and the thing snapped all the way across here, so that has now been fixed and that is now in place. I didn't time lapse any of this because Pamela was not necessarily in the greatest of moods at the time to give me a hand. So yes. How's your day been?
Relatively busy. We got our new stock in.
You got our what in?
New stock in.
New stock. Okay. Would you like me to put it in post edit that lists the volume of you talking? Seeing as you've already told me where to go today a few times.
We have our new stock of entry level skates in graph.
Yep. So we have decided to go down the graph route for this time, for this order, to see how popular they are. So
Still our intention to have the CCM next skates as well, but we've just not got that order done yet. And obviously we've got our stock of figure skates on the right hand side, and our hello, good afternoon.
So one of the things that I've actually had to do today again, like I said, was just change the spurs on the cross grain dresser. So if you have a wee quick check of this, it's basically just spurs with washers that go between them, and that's pretty much what resets the cross grind. And by the time that you're absolutely finished with them, this is what's left. There's not really much left of that left at all. It's just now the washers, that's all it is. So they've wore themselves down after years or a year of cross grinding. You've set the cross grind disc. So it is now 4:34 in the afternoon. We were in the middle of talking about how the fact that we had brought in some new entry level skates for the store, and it was going to be graph. So yes, we have some entry level graph skates. They are very, very similar to the XLPs or the XLs from Bauer. They are slightly softer, I would probably say, which is going to be a good thing. The reason being is, especially when you're skating in an entry level pair of skates, or you're just beginning to skate, you're going to get the benefit of the skate being softer to strengthen up the ankles and get the feel for your edges. If you overboot and go to something that's too stiff way too quickly, you're going to find that you might struggle with it, and you might have to go slightly deeper with your grind. Now, the reason why I say you might struggle with a slightly deeper grind is because when you find that you do your skates or have your skates sharpened at a 3/8, you will feel a little bit more fatigued. So let's see if we can try that again. That was another video where I started and I was in full swing and full flow of everything, talking about the whole product, and the customer coming. So it's a good complaint to have that customers are coming in. So back to what we were actually talking about. The graph skates, the Ultras have came in, or the G875s, that's going to be one of our stocked skates now. So originally what we were doing stock wise was the CCN Mixed. They were going to be the stocked entry level skate, so now we're going to have an alternative to the stock entry level skate with the Ultra G875. Now it's a nice tidy little skate. The skate actually looks very, very similar to the equivalent of a Bauer XLP or an XL. An LP or an XLP. The XLP is the one with the extra metatarsal guard at the front of the tongue. Now these are obviously quite They're very soft, obviously, in comparison to the Bauer variant. I think that's actually what I was saying earlier on, is that's actually going to be quite good. Specifically for the smaller sizes, they're going to be a lot softer. You don't want something that's way too stiff for a kid when they're getting into their skate. The reason being is, obviously you want them to learn to be able to use their ankles, gain a little bit of confidence with their edges and stuff like that. And what I was kind of alluding to earlier on was one of the things that you do find which helps sometimes with an entry level skate, specifically if you're starting, even for adults, having that little bit more ankle movement does help. Not hundreds of ankle movement. I don't mean like something that you could literally fold over like a piece of paper. I'm talking like a proper skate that's relatively sturdy but not too sturdy. And then what I actually had a conversation with a good friend of mine a couple of days ago talking about his kid. And his kid was in an entry-level pair of XLPs, and he was then talking about going straight to a top-end skate, and I advised him not to do that. The reason being is you want the kid to be able to progress up the levels and get used to how stiff the skate is. If you go from entry-level skate, which is your bottom-end skate, all the way up to top level, it's going to be a massive adjustment. So yes, that's one of the things we were talking about. But back to these, I think these are going to be relatively quite good. They're slightly cheaper than the Next, and they're slightly cheaper than the XLPs as well. I can't remember off the top of my head what the prices are for them, but if I remember, I'll put them up on screen. If not, they'll probably be on our website very soon. It's good to see Graf coming back into the ice hockey, especially in the UK. The reason being is obviously the UK distributor has changed hands for who deals with the ice hockey. It's still the same distributor for the figure skates. The other company that was dealing with the figure skates and hockey originally, their kind of main criteria was figure skates. That's their bread and butter. It was literally figure skates. That's all they were looking for Graf for. Whereas, say for example, the supplier that's now taking them over is now Graf, Warrior, Sherwood, Blademaster, and it's building a bigger platform. Most of the time with some of the other suppliers, this isn't a dig at them in any way, shape or form. I know that they work really hard behind the scenes to get the proper stock in, but you usually find that the Bauer supplier is only Bauer and Bauer only, the CCM supplier is CCM and CCM only, whereas the Warrior supplier is obviously Warrior, Sherwood, Graf and Blademaster, and obviously some other things as well. Like they used to have Wall, but Wall is now gone in the UK because it went direct to consumer. Wall is a goalie helmet brand. You also have A&R, which is all of your little extras. So they used to have A&R and Nash, so like A&R ear slings, Nash belts and buckles for your goalie pads, gel pads, lace brake pads, lace brake protectors, shin pad sleeves. That's the kind of stuff that we get from the other supplier, and it's great to be able to get some of the things because it does help with my day-to-day fixing of products as well. But anyway, apologies, it's been a bit disjointed, this video. Again, it's one of these ones where I was hoping to be able to get some more time to actually speak to you guys and tell you what's been going on and what's happening and show you some of the repairs, but there was so many people in today and so many people that were hanging about while I was trying to record. It's not really fair for me to record and when people don't want to be on the camera, so I make it a point of asking if they're happy to be on the camera, then they'll be on the camera. If they're not happy to be on it, then I don't record. So today was one of the days where I didn't want to record and upset anybody. So yes, so back onto the topic of, we are looking relatively okay stock wise just now. I know that obviously most of the other stores are going to have mass amounts more stock. I mean, we've got quite a lot of Rysport, Adia, Jackson skates down the bottom, we've got Graf, Adia, Rysport, all there. Most of the sizes that we try and keep in store, so we do try and keep like a range of sizes in. Not necessarily just a range of sizes, it's like a different ranges and models. Harris, we've got Graf Boleros, and we've got Adia Overtures. So that 3 different models of figure skates that we've got in store that we can obviously let people look at and let them try on. With regards to our hockey boots at the moment is mainly Graf. So The reason for this is we've managed to run down all of our Bauer products that we had previously. We've run down all of our CCM products that we had recently, and we are now looking to do a restock on the CCM Next, because the CCM Next and the Graph Ultra G875 is going to be the models that we're going to be keeping in store for just your entry level, your beginners, stuff like that. So one of the things I will say is, with regards to having a look at the Ultra G875s, when I actually looked at the senior models in my size, the senior model felt massively stiffer, a lot stiffer than maybe the next skate. And the reason for that is it feels more like a Supreme skate, in the sense that it may look like a Vapor skate or a entry level Bauer skate, but it's actually a lot stiffer along the bottom of the skate and softer up near the top. Realistically feels or has the hallmarks of a Supreme skate if you're a Supreme skater. Obviously if you're skating in a top end pair of Supremes, like a pair of M5 Pros or a pair of Shadows, you're not going to be looking at like a bottom end entry level pair of Graphs. It's to give you kind of guys a kind of understanding that the stiffness on the Graphs are slightly stiffer than what the other entry levels are. So it's specifically around about the bottom of the quarter package. So that would be, I'll just quickly show you. It seems to be stiffer along this area and then softer in this area, which is only going to be good for wraparound and good for getting over on your edges, I suppose. But anyway, for today, that's us finished. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully it will be nice and busy, and we may have some special guest, how would I put it, employees working with us tomorrow. It depends. Sam and Sarah may be back in the store, so there will be carnage if they are in the store. So far we are about 3 or 4 sticks down from the last time they were in the last video, which was on the Wednesday, which was only just 2 days ago. They have you'll laugh when I say this, but Sam is absolutely hockey obsessed. Sam, we went into his backpack when he was leaving the store, and there was black stick tape, there was leg tape, there was green biscuits, there was hockey socks, there was wheels. I don't know why he needs wheels. He's got inlines and it was the wrong size and everything, but he had everything. He had just stocked his bag up, and obviously we were too busy at the time dealing with customers and obviously repairing stuff that we didn't notice that he was being a little tea leaf. So anyway, I will see you again tomorrow, hopefully without the kids in tow. How's it going, guys? It's 1:16 on Saturday the 29th of March. If you're wondering what I'm looking at my time and date on my phone. So yes, it's been one of the days so far. It's been relatively quite busy with sharpenings. We were slightly late, maybe 5 or 10 minutes late today due to the kids, and we've been constant with sharpenings up until this very minute, where I had a chance to pick up the camera and say hello. So hello. Hope everyone is doing well. Today is probably going to be a bit of a strange one. The weather outside is very rainy and very cold, so because of that we don't expect to see very many people in today. It's just that it's getting to that time of the season as well, where you find that the customers started kind of taper off because the season's coming to an end. A lot of people have got games away, or lots of people have got tournaments and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what we're contending with at the moment. So I'll go just now and see what today brings. If anything interesting comes, I'll come back and see you.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's 2 o'clock on a Saturday. We've been quite busy up until now, a lot busy till now. This will be the be quiet where we'll be able to get some lunch ordered, and then everybody will walk in when the lunch arrives. A wee shout out to the customer yesterday that brought me the Chicago Blackhawks top. Thank you very much. I don't actually have Blackhawks top on its own. I only have my Patrick Kane Stars jersey that Stephen had got me, so thank you very much.
So now you've got a Patrick Kane. This is the camera, you need to look at the camera. I'm interviewing you here. Right, would it be better if I move the camera, right, and I'll go behind it, right?
Right, okay.
So now that you've got a Patrick Kane jersey for the Blackhawks and he doesn't play with the Blackhawks, are you going to get a Red Wings one with Patrick Kane on it?
Absolutely not.
Why not?
Because one Red Wings fan in the house is enough.
Technically Sam's a Red Wings fan.
No, he's a Steelers fan.
Yeah, but that's true. That is true.
He's a Steelers fan.
Yeah, he's a Steelers fan, but he's also liking the Clan at times as well.
Clan. That's his second team.
Yeah.
In Belfast.
Yeah, well, everybody but the Clan apparently. Everybody but Fife, maybe. I don't know.
I was cheering Fife as well.
Oh no. Can't help that.
I was very taken with Jordan the other night.
So you might want to elaborate on that one.
So we had Jordan Boessa from Leeds Knights. He was up from his home. He brought his skates up to get sharpened, as he does quite regularly. Of course, it was Wednesday night when the twins were in the shop because my mum was unwell and they were up being helpers. And Sammy suggested that they play hockey together. And I don't know who was a bigger kid. Then Sammy invited Jordan over to our house to shoot pucks in the garden. I was like, at first I thought he was inviting himself to Jordan's house. And I was like, hold on a minute, hold on. And then Jordan's like, no, he's inviting me to your house.
It's quite good, isn't it? It's good that Jordan obviously come in and it's not that it's like genuinely here when I say this, I'm not being horrible to any of the other players that come in, but if the kids are in, they don't usually give them the time of day. It's like they come in, get their skate sharp and then that's it. But when Jordan was in, Jordan was playing with the kids, as in like playing hockey with them. He had Sam and Sarah engaged in it. Sarah's just not a hockey player. She's a water baby apparently. She doesn't want to play hockey, but as soon as there's anybody playing hockey, she picks up a stick and wants to play.
She wants to boss them.
Yeah, she wants to boss them about.
If anybody's got the right temperament to be a referee, that's Sarah, but apparently she doesn't want to be a referee. She gets awful upset when people don't play by her rules.
So anyway, what's the plans for you today?
I've got some admin I need to do and I'm going to order lunch.
So what did you get in the post today?
I got my marvellous new Mother's Day mug with my babies on it. So I brought it up. I've got one at home anyway. I've got one at work. So I brought this up for the shop. It could be my shop mug. It's not replacing Isa, but it'll be my backup.
So what did you make of Toby's comment on the last video about he's trying to save the old skates?
That boy needs to give up on the old slippers. Maybe give up his sales.
He's got another couple of seasons left in him, I think.
Mm-hmm.
As long as his knee holds up.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll need to retire his jersey into the bathroom.
I know, Hall of Shame.
Hall of
Back into
Shame.
the Hall of Shame.
Anyway, right, I'll come back in a little while and see if there's anything interesting that's happening, or see if you have anything interesting to say other than Bye.
Bye.
So it is now 5:10 and Saturday afternoon. It has been excessively quiet today. We have had customers in and out. Pamela has done very well with the figure skates sales and stuff.
Yeah, it's been a very, very figure skate heavy day. And we've had lots of inquiries, so we've been dealing quite a lot. Then of course Caroline came over, so everything stopped for half an hour for a blather.
The jobs that I did today was basically a heat mould, and it was a heat mould on a pair of Catalyst 7Xs. Straight off the bat, what I had to do with them was I had to press the eyelets straight after the heat mould because the eyelets were actually coming loose. Now, it's not because they were overhit, it's not because they were over tightened, it was because it's just I personally think it's just a bad design. It's a design flaw in the eyelet situation. Whatever they're doing, it just needs to be pressed properly, and it pressed like it looks more like a graph eyelet once it's finished. And what I mean by that is I can actually show you. Now, if you look at the graph eyelet, you can actually see it's been pressed properly just here. It's just pressed ever so slightly more than a standard eyelet on a set of trews, and I think it's a 2-piece eyelet or a 3-piece eyelet, and that would be more beneficial to have, I think, for true skates. I just think that they would last a little bit longer, and you would find that there'd be a lot less catastrophic failures of eyelets pulling through. The reason why I say that in the first place is I have actually had people that have went and bought the top of the range full custom skate, and then their eyelets are pulled straight through or clean out the skate, and that is something that I'd be worried about if that was something you're purchasing. If you're purchasing a top end of the range skate, spending so much money on it, and then the eyelets are going to pull through. So instantly what I tend to find is anybody that brings in a pair of top end true skates, I'll press the eyelets or I'll ask them if it's okay to do it, because it means that I don't have to replace them later on. And that's probably something that people will laugh at, is me saying that I would replace the eyelets, or sorry, I would press the eyelets free of charge to stop me if you're having to do extra work. I don't want to have to do lots and lots and lots of repairs. It seems to be that I am the guy that people come to for repairs because they're done to a relatively good standard. It's just one of these situations where I wouldn't want to have to do that if you're buying a brand new pair of skates and then you've only got them maybe a couple of weeks and you're having to replace the eyelets, or you're having to get like plastic nylon repairs to cover over the holes that have been pulled through because your eyelets have came loose. But yeah, that's pretty much what I'm going on about. Other than that, like I said, it's a very, very quiet day. It has been a very, very quiet day. We were originally waiting for Lewis to come and pick up his figure skates today. Lewis actually done us a favour and took the kids out for the day to keep an eye on them for us, because we thought we were going to be excessively busy in the store, which has not been the case at all today. I say it hasn't been the case. We were kept consistent. Pamela's managed to catch up on a lot of admin stuff. We have actually had, how many pairs of figure skates was it that you had managed to sell today?
I think I'm now sitting on 6 or 7. And I've had an inquiry for a chorus, so I've had quite a lot of inquiries, and I've sold about 7 pairs today, so I would say that was a good day.
Right, so yeah, we're waiting on Lewis, who has actually just turned up right now, so I don't know if we're going to get any footage of him trying on his figure skates or not. It just depends how hyperactive my kids are when he brings them in the store. Right, so we have a monumental moment. Lewis is now getting the chance to try on his figure skates for the first time.
Stunning. Absolutely
Do
stunning.
they fit?
They're a bit neat, but I think once I start wearing them,
You need to tighten them up first.
then I'll sort of break them in.
I think you might need
I do
them
have a
punched.
blank, I've always been curious with figure skates, so anything I've watched kiddos do it, or figure skates do it, they go,
There's different ways to do
is
it.
it, they go under.
You can go under or you can go over, whatever. So you can do it the other way. I've seen them coming down the way. But that's the way I would have chosen to do it. I've laced them quickly, but they've got the lace locks in these. You can unlace them and lace them back through the lace lock if you need it.
I get time when you lean forward, don't
I've never had a pair of figure skates on
You're a
before.
goalie, so
I know, to be fair, I'm used to just
you're
leaning
used
forward.
to a lot of forward flex. Just glad you fit. Yes, yeah. I hear your dad might be in the market for some new skates.
One day. He says that every day.
I told him to try yours. The goalies, because they're probably going to be the widest to get.
It's a rock up at the top of these ones.
In between the ice cuts.
If he does not come out in his goalie gear with them on, then I want a refund.
I think it'll just take a while to get used to it.
You will have a break-in process to do, not thermal formable. You're going to need to break them in manually, so you're going to need skating them.
Stunning.
You also have like slightly waxy laces that come with the Electras. Kind of stiffer lace. Right, have a look.
Oh! I mean, I don't know if it goes with light jeans, white socks and black boots, but
Michael Jackson vibes.
How uncomfortable are your feet?
incredible.
I'm really surprised you can get in and they fit.
I think it's just going to take a while to get used to them. They just feel very different. Is different the right word?
Yes, they're a much different stance. So you're almost like on high heels.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, on the right.
and obviously what I would suggest is give them a skate and then let us know if you get any pressure points, because I have a funny feeling we'll need to roll or punch out the kind of this bit of your feet.
If I get myself some figure skate with nice black jacket bottom.
Spandex.
Some sequins.
So fit in spandex.
Billy Blades of Glory.
I feel it plays a goal right there.
Do you know what? You should give them your cycling suit.
Aye.
That I would pay for.
That leg or that leg I would do. It's going to be that one.
Your mum's reckoning that there might be a broke bone.
No. I broke a bone in my body.
Yeah.
That on camera.
Yet.
Week
Touch
one.
wood.
Why is Lewis stop skating? Oh well. Not only
Not
but
before
not
the cup.
only is he for the tournament.
Not before the cup, please.
No, I think.
It's almost like I know what I'm doing.
Never playing away. Stunned?
So this is the Riceport Electras,
Yeah.
which are the last model that Riceport make as the set. So we've went a little bit above entry level because 1, the entry level's too narrow for you, and 2, you're used to a stiff hockey boot, so I don't want to put you in an entry level figure skate because and it just would be pointless. But again, we don't need to put you in a pro boot because you're also a beginner level, so it's understandable.
You know me. Then I take to like a duck to water.
I'm wrapping it up.
Frozen water.
Yeah, swimming.
What?
I'm a good swimmer, let's just.
Okay, well, make sure you get it in.
Right. We'll get him sharp and then I'll get him nice at some point, that's it.
Cool. So yeah, that's Lewis now away. He's made the decision he's going to go and try his figure skates out very, very soon. I don't know where and when he's going to do it, but the footage from him trying the figure skates will sporadically come in. So we'll see how that goes. But for today, guys, that is us finished. So if you liked the content, which was very slow this week, hopefully it'll be busier next week. What have they got to do, Pam?
Like, share and subscribe.
Right, anyway, thanks very much for watching, guys. Take it easy. See you soon. Bye bye.